Welcome back, my name's Steve and thank you for joining me on my photography journey. Today I want to talk about a day out I had recently, and what I had decided to do was challenge myself. Things had got a little bit stale in my photography, I think, and one thing at the back of my mind that I've had for a little while is kind of combining the best camera I've got, the best lens I've got, and just going out and taking some pictures. So what I did was I paired my Z6 III along with my 35mm f1.8s lens. This is the first prime lens that I bought after I bought the Nikon Z5. So I thought I'd combine the two together, go out into the woods and see what I could take some pictures of. I thought that 35mm was quite a good focal length. It would stop me kind of zooming in, zooming out, and being a bit lazy with taking pictures, to be honest. So I thought the 35mm makes me think a bit more about what I'm doing, whether I want to walk towards something, away from something. I have to use my feet a bit more and think a bit more creatively with what I'm going to capture, because I can't just zoom in or zoom out. Obviously I can crop afterwards, but I'm also going to try and keep that to a minimum and do as much of the editing in camera as I possibly can before taking it into Lightroom and then editing it properly. I really like the 35mm lens for kind of how the picture looks, and the field of view is quite nice. It's similar to what we see with our eyes, probably a little bit wider than that, but it's kind of a good representation of that. And it's what I use to film these videos on. So I'm filming this on the Nikon Z6 III with the 35mm f1.8, and that's my favorite video combination. So I want to see how that translates into the photo world as well. I decided that I would do this at a local nature reserve. I know the area well. I know what kind of things to expect there. I was hoping to see some wildlife and some flowers and some trees and some open spaces and some kind of man-made bits and pieces. What I'm going to do now is talk you through what I did on that day, the pictures that I got, and kind of show you how it turned out, really. So other than the camera and the lens, the only thing that I took with me was this tripod. So as you can see, it's a small one. It's not my full size one. So that did limit me a bit as well. Rather than just putting my camera onto the tripod and using that, I had to really think about when I wanted to use a tripod, when I didn't want to use a tripod, and what I would get in my picture given how small the tripod is and how low down to the ground I would have to be in order to use it. Around this nature park, there is a lot of building work going on at the moment. A new housing development is there, so I tried to capture some of that as well. I'm not too excited by any of the pictures that I did get from there, but at least I have a bit of variety in what I've got. My favourite ones are of the plants and the insects, the different colours, and being able to use the f1.8, really blurring that background. And I've always found that this is a really sharp lens as well, so I'm really pleased with the quality of the pictures that have come from this trip. I've got some quite nice woodland pictures as well. Nothing too specific is probably the best word. I've got some just quite nice woodland views, and this one in particular where you can see the old water tower, fire tower, whatever it is in the background. I really like the look of that one. And what was really good, the combination of the different colours in the woodland, the browns of the bracken, the green of the trees, the wood, and everything like that all kind of came together to make these pictures quite nice. I didn't miss having the zoom lens particularly, and like I said when I set out, this was something that I wanted to kind of challenge myself to kind of think a bit more before I took pictures, really, and I'm quite pleased with most of the ones that I've taken. Maybe you want to try it in your local area, just stick to one focal length. You don't have to have a prime lens, just stick to one focal length. Go and take pictures and see what you come back with. And if you want to make it even more difficult, go somewhere that you've never been before. And you can always remember places if you want to go back with a long lens or a wider lens, and to be able to capture something slightly different, you can remember it for next time. But as I always say, it's always best to get out, take pictures, practice with your camera, and anything that is going to make you think a little bit more about what you're doing, about your composition, about what you're actually capturing is going to be a good thing. You're going to learn from that, and then when you go out afterwards, you're going to have some new skills, some new approaches to what you're doing in order to improve your photography as much as possible. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned something. Have a great week, and I will see you next time on my photography journey. Bye.